Imagine this. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, has just taken his last breath on the cross. The sky turns dark, the earth shakes violently, and the temple veil is torn in two. The disciples are devastated. To them, everything seems lost. But little did they know that behind the scenes of the spiritual realm, one of the most mysterious and controversial moments in Christian faith was about to unfold. What happened to Jesus between his death and resurrection? Did he really descend into hell? If so, why? And what did he do there? Throughout history, theologians, scholars, and religious leaders have tried to explain this mystery. Some answers are surprising, while others challenge everything we thought we knew about hell. But before we uncover this hidden truth, we need to go back to the exact moment when Christ gave up his spirit. Before we continue, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because in the next videos we'll explore even more mysteries you won't want to miss. Jesus' death was unlike any other. The very moment he proclaimed, "It is finished," and surrendered his spirit, supernatural. Events began to unfold. The sun darkened, the earth trembled, and even tombs opened, bringing some of the dead back to life. But why? The Gospel of Matthew records that upon witnessing all of this, the Roman centurion exclaimed, "Truly, this was the Son of God." But what did he see that was so astonishing? The answer may lie in a detail that is often overlooked. At the exact moment of Christ's death, something was happening not only in the physical world but also in the spiritual realm. While people saw a lifeless body being taken down from the cross and placed in a tomb, in the unseen realm, Jesus was embarking on a journey that would change the course of humanity forever. And here's the big question. If Jesus' final destination was his glorious resurrection, why did he have to descend into hell first? The idea that Jesus descended into hell is intriguing, and for many, controversial. But does it have biblical support? In 1 Peter 3:18-19, we find a mysterious passage, "Being put to death in the flesh, but made alive in the spirit, in which he also went and preached to the spirits in prison." What does this mean? Who were these spirits in prison, and where were they? Additionally, the Apostles' Creed, one of the oldest statements of Christian faith, states that Jesus descended to Hades. But here's the problem. What does Hades really mean in the Bible? Hell, the realm of the dead, or something else entirely? Many believe that Jesus descended to set free the righteous who had been waiting for redemption. Others say he declared his victory over the forces of darkness. But the question remains, what exactly did he do there? And how does his descent into hell fit into God's plan for salvation? Nothing in God's plan happens by accident, and Jesus' journey into the underworld may have been foretold centuries earlier. But where? In the book of Psalms, David wrote something intriguing. "For you will not abandon my soul to Sheol, nor will you let your Holy One see decay." Psalm 16:10. This verse was later quoted by the Apostle Peter in Acts 2:31, claiming that it was a prophecy about Christ. Furthermore, Isaiah 53, the famous chapter describing the suffering of the Messiah, mentions that he was numbered with the transgressors, and that after his death, he would see the light of life and justify many. If these passages indicate that Jesus' descent into the underworld was part of God's plan, then the next question becomes even more crucial. Where exactly did Jesus go? Did he descend to Sheol, Hades, or Gehenna? The answer might change everything you thought you knew about this pivotal moment in history. So, had you heard about these facts before? Drop a comment and let's talk about it. When we talk about hell, many people imagine a place of fire and eternal suffering. But was that the same concept in Jesus' time? In Jewish culture and the scriptures of that era, we find three different terms describing the fate of souls. After death, Sheol. In the Old Testament, it was seen as the realm of the dead, a place where both the righteous and the wicked awaited their final destiny. Hades. In the Greek New Testament, it corresponds to Sheol and was considered a temporary place before the final judgment. Gehenna. This was the true lake of fire, associated with eternal condemnation. If Jesus descended into hell, which of these places did he go to? The answer may be more surprising than you think, because, according to some interpretations, he may have gone to a place divided into two parts. But what did he do there? Did he suffer, or did he go to set someone free? To understand this, we need to dive into one of the most mysterious events of this journey. What did Jesus do in hell? Jesus' mission in the realm of the dead. Now we arrive at the most intriguing part of this journey. If Jesus really descended into hell, what was his purpose there? There are three main interpretations of his mission in the realm of the dead. Proclaiming victory. Some believe that Jesus descended into hell to announce his victory over Satan and sin, demonstrating that he had defeated death. Liberating the righteous. Others argue that he freed the saints of the Old Testament, who were waiting in Abraham's bosom, a separate section of Sheol for the righteous. Condemning the wicked. A more radical view suggests that he went to the condemned to declare their judgment and seal their final defeat. But here's an intriguing detail. In Revelation 1:18, Jesus says he holds the keys of death and Hades. What does this mean? Did he actually rescue souls? Or was he simply demonstrating his power? This revelation leads us to one of the most powerful moments in this journey. Jesus' encounter with the forces of darkness and his claim over the keys of death. Did Jesus confront the forces of darkness? In Revelation 1:18, Jesus declares, "I am the living one. I was dead, and now look, I am alive forever and ever, and I hold the keys of death and Hades." This passage has sparked countless interpretations over the centuries. But if Jesus took these keys, who held them before? Many scholars believe that before Christ's resurrection, Satan had some level of control over death and the fate of souls. However, by descending into hell, Jesus took those keys, symbolizing his complete authority over humanity's eternal destiny. But did this victory involve a direct battle with the forces of darkness? Was there a spiritual conflict? What exactly happened at that moment? If this interpretation is correct, then hell was never the same after Christ's visit. But how exactly did this affect the fate of both the righteous and the wicked? Did Jesus defeat Satan in a cosmic battle? If there was a conflict between Jesus and the forces of darkness, what really happened there? In Colossians 2:15 we read, "And having disarmed the powers and authorities, he made a public spectacle of them, triumphing over them by the cross." This verse suggests that Jesus not only defeated Satan, but publicly humiliated the powers of darkness before the entire spiritual realm. This raises a fascinating question. Was Christ's ultimate victory accomplished on the cross, or was it completed when he descended into hell? One compelling interpretation is that by descending, he reaffirmed his triumph, declaring that the power of sin and death had been destroyed. This would explain why, after his resurrection, he appears in glory, not just as the sacrificed lamb, but as the victorious king. But before the resurrection, one mystery remains. What happened during the 3 days Jesus was in the tomb? We'll continue this discussion, but before that, I noticed you haven't hit the like button yet. If you're enjoying this content, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. What really happened? During the 3 days Jesus was dead, did Jesus simply rest in the tomb, or did those 3 days carry a deeper meaning? Theologians have long debated whether this period was literal or symbolic. We know that Jesus foretold, "For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the great fish, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth." Matthew 12:40. But here's an interesting detail. In the Jewish timekeeping of that era, any part of a day counted as a full day. This raises a compelling question. Did Jesus actually spend 72 hours in the tomb, or is this pointing to a deeper truth? Additionally, something unusual happened during this time. The tombs broke open, and many of the dead were raised to life and appeared to people in Jerusalem. Matthew 27:52-53. Could this be connected to Jesus' mission in the underworld? But the greatest mystery is this: what marked the end of his journey? What truly happened at the exact moment of the resurrection? the moment of resurrection, a divine event beyond human understanding. In the early hours of the third day, something unexplainable occurred. The tomb was found empty, and the Roman guards were paralyzed with fear. But what really happened at the precise instant of the resurrection? The Gospel of Matthew reveals a striking event. There was a violent earthquake, for an angel of the Lord came down from heaven and, going to the tomb, rolled back the stone and sat on it. Matthew 28:2. Was this earthquake merely a natural occurrence, or was there something happening in the spiritual realm? Another intriguing detail. Jesus rose with a transformed body. He could walk through walls, yet still bore the wounds of the crucifixion. How was this possible? The resurrection was far more than just returning to life. It was the absolute triumph over death and hell. But there's one final shocking revelation about this journey. What did Jesus do immediately after rising from the dead? Jesus' first act after rising. A shocking choice. After leaving the tomb, Jesus could have gone directly to the temple or appeared before Pilate to prove his victory. But instead, he did something completely unexpected. He appeared first to Mary Magdalene, a woman who, in that time, had little credibility as a witness. Why would Jesus choose a woman to be the first messenger of the resurrection? Furthermore, John's Gospel gives us a curious detail. When Mary saw him, Jesus said, "Do not hold on to me, for I have not yet ascended to my Father." John 20:17. What did this mean? Where did he need to go before presenting himself to the disciples? Some scholars believe Jesus ascended to the Father to complete an act in the heavenly sanctuary. Others argue that he was still fulfilling his post-resurrection mission on earth. But there's one final mystery that could change everything we know about this journey. What happened to the souls trapped in the underworld? The fate of the souls in the underworld if Jesus truly descended to the underworld and freed the righteous, who were in Abraham's bosom. What happened to them afterward? One intriguing theory suggests that after the resurrection, these souls were taken to heaven. This could explain John's vision in Revelation, where he sees a great multitude of saints standing before God's throne. Another theory suggests that these souls remained on earth for a short time, possibly connecting to the mysterious event in Matthew 27:52-53, where many of the dead were raised. Regardless of the specifics, one thing is clear. Jesus' descent into hell was not an insignificant detail. It was one of the most profound and impactful moments in the spiritual history of humanity. His journey to the underworld was not a defeat, but a mission of conquest and redemption. What does this mean for us today? Now that we have walked through this entire journey, we understand that Jesus did not just die and rise again. He redefined the fate of humanity. His descent into hell was not a punishment, but a mission. His resurrection was not just a personal victory, but a liberation for all who believe in him. If he holds the keys to death and hell, then those who follow him can never be overcome by these forces. But here's the crucial part. This victory only applies to those who choose to follow Christ. So now the big question is, have you made that choice? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss more amazing content like this.